I spent the first 10 months of my life in the hospital. 2 or 3 days after I came home from the hospital, I was right back in the hospital. I died 3 times. They were going to give up on me. The doctor said there's nothing that we could do. I have scars on my neck from the tubes that were down my throat. Even to this day, I have this, scar on my neck and on my wrist from the tubes in my wrist and in the heels of my feet. And they said, say your goodbyes, but it wasn't my time.
Welcome to Radiant Mom Rising. Get ready to be inspired, empowered, and uplifted. I'm your host, Mary Dibble, and in each episode, we dive into amazing stories, insights, and conversations that help moms like you chase your dreams and embrace your worth. Let's rise and shine together. Hey, beautiful souls, and welcome back to another episode of Radiant Mom Rising. Today's conversation is heavier than most, and I want to give you a heads up. This episode includes sensitive topics like abuse, trauma, and homelessness, but it also includes something powerful: hope, healing, and the incredible journey of one woman who refused to let her past define her future. My guest today is PJ Jones, and her story is not just one of survival, it's one of fierce resilience, transformation, and empowerment. I am so blessed to have met her and get to call her my friend now. She is truly an inspiration and a beautiful soul. Whether you're navigating trauma yourself or love someone who is, this episode is a powerful reminder that no matter how many times life knocks you down, you can still rise and rise strong. Let's get into it. I am here today with PJ Jones. Oh, PJ, thank you so much for joining us on the show. How are you doing?
Thank you so much. I'm great. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to see you again. Your energy. It's the same energy. I'm like, yay!
No, I had such a wonderful time being part of your podcast and
Yes.
just meeting you. And it's wonderful to just see you. You are thriving. You're doing so much right now. And I'm
Thank
excited for us to
you.
have this conversation. And for you especially, your story is incredible. And the fact that you are out here sharing it and making the impact you are is, oh, it's honorable. It's amazing. And I commend you. So let's
Thank you
get
so
started
much.
for the listeners. Of course, of course. And why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do?
Hello, everyone. My name is PJ. I am a near and dear friend of Miss Mary. Oh, she's so wonderful. As you know, she said I do have a podcast that I have of Insights of a Survivor. I am on Spotify, but I now recently launched on my YouTube network, Empowered Voices, Finding Strength and Survivor. So you can catch that now every Friday live. You get to see my face, Miss Mary, on YouTube. Yes, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. every Friday. This week it'll be Thursday. So tonight, because I have a special guest and we had, I'm free to make arrangements if I need to. I also hosted 2 summits, one in January, Rise and Thrive, Empower Voices for Survivors, and then this last one celebrating International Women's Day, March 8th and 9th. It was Fearless and Flourishing Empower Women Summit. I'm about empowerment. I am a survivor. I'm a thriver. I've had to go through so much in my life and I was silenced. And I made a decision, a very conscious decision that I didn't take lightly, to share my story, because there are so many of us out here who doesn't have any of the resources or the tools. Miss Mary and myself, we decided we were going to put ourselves out there so that we can help anybody who needs to know how they can heal, what gets them started on their journey, because it's different for everybody, So mine's look different than Mary's, and Mary's is going to look different than yours. So my whole role is just to support, share my story. So first, you don't feel shamed about what you've gone through, because it is not your fault. And
Exactly.
secondly, yes, secondly, to, if you want to share your story, give you a safe space where you have a lot of us in this community who we all have each other's back and we all uplift and support. And I'm learning that while I'm, growing my platform and sharing my story with everyone. So that's kind of what I do. I share my story. I give platforms like those, like the summits that I have. I have a retreat coming up in July here in Costa Rica, maybe because so much stuff is happening. I might have to put a pin in that, because I'm also possibly going to be doing college speaking tours. Fingers crossed, you guys. Yes, I'm speaking that into existence. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
I've been interviewing more. I'm on more summits of myself now, trying to get my book out there. I'm part of anthologies, writing books, sharing my story, every part of it, from losing my son. Yes, I lost a child, grief, I dealt with grief, my life coaching come business. So like Miss
Wow.
Mary said, I'm all over the place, but it's all
Yes.
in a sense of healing this community and helping this community thrive.
Yes, and that's so beautiful. And if you want, if we can we get into your story? Like you
Yes.
have quite the story here. So yeah, I'd love for you to share with listeners because I think there is such power in us being vulnerable and really open to the things that we've
Yes.
been through. Because there's so many people, like you say, people out there who were silenced and who were not felt like they were allowed to share.
Yes.
So yeah, let's get into your story. Tell us a little bit about what life was like for you growing up
Of course.
and
Of
through
course.
your yeah.
Well, mine started before I was born. It's generational. Like you say, sometimes people are, well, not sometimes, a lot of times, the majority of the times, us trauma survivors, we are silenced. My mother, unfortunately, was one who suffered that in her life. My father was 46 years older than her, and she was 8 years old when my father started to molest her. So he was the pastor of our church that I also grew up in, and my grandmother who was good to me. Now these people who I'm talking about were bad to my mom, and it was just weird. You'll hear. My grandmother was my father's mistress, so she knew this was happening. She allowed it to happen. She encouraged it, and she kind of made my mom service my dad in any way he wanted, to the point where she ended up allowing my mom to move in with him, and he abused my mom. He abused my stepmom and my older sister who lived in the home. They were forced to watch him molest me and basically rape my mom from the age of 8 until she had me when she was 20. She married my adopted dad just to get away from him. So that's where the actual abuse started. Then I'm born. A couple of days after my birth, someone gave me something in my bottle. I've heard different stories, but the long story short is my aunt basically tried to make me sick and ended up poisoning me. So I spent the first 10 months of my life in the hospital. 2 or 3 days after I came home from the hospital, I was right back in the hospital. I died 3 times. They were going to give up on me. The doctor said there's nothing that we could do. I have scars on my neck from the tubes that were down my throat. Even to this day, I have this, scar on my neck and on my wrist from the tubes in my wrist and in the heels of my feet. And they said, say your goodbyes, but it wasn't my time. They stopped treatment and I just came back. I was down to not even a pound, probably a couple of ounces. My mom said my lips were so dry that even to touch them, they would crack and bleed. I pooped out most of my intestines at that time. So like there was no coming back, but I came back unknowingly with a purpose. So growing up wasn't easy because I was conceived the way I was conceived. We never knew. Me and my older sister with my mom, they hid it from us. We grew up just basically the outcasts, being treated differently. We talked about, by the time when I was 5, my cousin broke my ribs playing. He was playing, he was 13. I was a tomboy, climbing trees, fighting with the boys, and playing football. He broke my ribs. But the first time I realized that my pain didn't matter was when he broke my ribs. Then my mom told me, shut up. You better shut up. So I had to sit there at 5 years old and not cry. My ribs just cracked and no doctor, no hospital, no anything. So she was sending me to live with my father. I didn't know he was my father at the time. All I knew was he was the pastor of the church. I didn't understand why. He would take me to visit his family in different states. And me and my sister were like, what's going on? But he treated us better than anyone. Grew up on a farm, playing with chickens, cooking with my stepmom in the kitchen. So before, he was my only protector, him and my grandmother, actually. Him, my grandmother, and my stepmom were the ones that keep me safe. Everyone else making fun of my skin tone. I'm dark, tar babies, gaslit, made me feel like I was worthless, ugly, horrible. Whoopi Goldberg is a beautiful woman, but they call me Celie from the color purple. you know, so that's all I want to say. Make sure I put Whoopi Goldberg herself as a beautiful woman. She did really good playing that role. But that's how bad they made me look like I was this weak, dark, ugly, fat, whatever they could do to try to make me feel bad about myself. It started that way. But then when I was 11 years old, my father passed away. Well, when I was about 7 or 8, my stepmom passed away. And that kind of threw me because that was my mom.
Yeah.
My mom kept dropping us off to her. To us, our mom didn't like us, but I didn't understand she couldn't look at me. She couldn't look at my sister because my father, we were a result of what he was doing to her. And then 11 years old when he passed, and that's the first time I tried to take my life. I tried to hang myself with a tetherball rope at my elementary school. And that was also the first time my mom let me know basically that my life wasn't worth anything, because instead of her being considerate about the fact that I just lost my father, she beat me like like I did something wrong. Like I was being punished for mourning his loss. I went too fast. 2 years before, when I was 9, my mom finally told me and my sister that that was our father in the first place.
Mm.
So I knew when he passed that he was my actual father. She told us what he'd done to her, because we knew he was old. So we're looking like, how is that possible? So she told us the story. At that age, she wasn't as graphic. She basically said he did bad things to her when she was little, about my age, and that she had to grow up in the home with him doing bad things to her. So she explained it as best as she could to a 9 and a 10-year-old. And
Yeah.
then fast forward, she's still sending us to go live with him. He's treating me like I was spoiled. I'm the youngest of my dad's children. He has 9 children, and I'm the youngest of his 9 with other women. And he treated me like an angel. I couldn't do anything wrong. He's never raised his voice to me, never raised a hand to me, never. So when I found out that he was actually a monster, I was conflicted. I'm
Yeah.
supposed to hate this man for what he did to my mom, but this man showed me so much love. How can I? He was the only one who didn't make fun of me. He was the only one who protected me when they did make fun of me. Like, so when he passed away and I mourned him, I was punished for mourning him. And that's when the beatings with my mom started. She started to drink, because when he was alive, I think that he was really protecting me more than I know, because when he died, she started drinking really heavily and the beating started. And that's when I started to be punished for the things that he did to her. She started calling me by his name, by his last name, beating me. I'll come home from school, I'm getting beat. She called my name out on, I'm not in the room fast enough, I'm getting beat. Now, mind you, we're also caring for the home, cooking every day, cleaning every day. My mom's like, Mom, well, there's no food on this table by the time I come home. Somebody's gonna get hurt. So I have to come home from school. I'm in the band, the orchestra. I'm in ROTC. I'm in dance. I have to practice. My mom, we have a piano in our home. I have to practice the piano, but I also have to take care of the home with my older sister and take care of our younger sister. Some days we didn't get it done, and I took the brunt force of the physical parts of it. The older I got, the more aggressive it got, to where, noses being broken, jaws being broken, punched in the face, scratched, beat. But I'm starting to fight now because I can't fight her back. So I'm getting angry and I'm fighting, in school. And a lot of the teachers assume that, those scratches were because I fought someone. But those scratches were coming from my mom. I couldn't take it anymore because, again, I'm in school. I'm not a bad student. I'm like an honor roll student. Again, I was a nerd. But before my dad died, I was a complete nerd. I mean, when I was in the 6th grade, I won an award for being the best author in my class in the city. So I was like, I love learning. My husband could tell you now, I'm a nerd. You ask me a question about the solar system, ask me a question about animals. I love dorky, nerdy stuff, you guys, and I'm proud
Yeah.
nerd.
Yeah, dang it.
But I didn't have the support at home to get me through school. So once the beating started, I said, I'm just gonna stay in the band, stay in ROTC, do what I have to do. I'm gonna get a scholarship and I'm getting out of here. I'm getting out of here. That was my goals. But the beatings were getting worse, 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 worse. I mean, I didn't even tell you, like, before my dad passed, I have a scar right here where I got cracked in the face with a 2x4 when I was 7 or 8 years old. Like, beatings are getting bad. And I said, she's gonna kill me. She's accusing me of stealing her money. I'm like, I don't have to steal your money. So I started to run away from home. I started first going to my sister's boyfriend's family house because, they just kind of let people come stay there. But his older brother had a thing for me. I'm 14, he's 21, 22. And one night I went over there waiting for my sister to come, and she never showed up. Apparently, she probably wasn't even going to come. He told me she was coming. He got me drunk and he raped me. That was the first time I've ever had sex. I didn't know at the time, but his cousins were watching, laughing at me through the window. I didn't know till the next day when they were making fun of me because they said that, oh, you liked it. I was like, I woke up with him on top of me and I didn't know what to do. So I just kind of laid there and let him do what he was going to do. She took a shower and I walked home. When I told my mom what happened, oh, you're a whore. You did this. You wanted this. You nasty. You this. And she beat me really bad. So I said, okay, Mom, well, I guess I'm sleeping in the streets. So I walk wherever I can, nearest park. And while I was sitting there, a guy kind of just drugged me to the bathroom. Like the day after that happened to me. and him and four other guys in the bathroom. I said they were homeless. They may not have been. I don't remember, but I know that there was five guys, and they took turns with me, holding me down, and I just laid there, and I first I fought, but after a while,
Okay.
I was 14, and I just
Yeah.
laid there and let them do whatever they wanted to try to do. They tried to, go for my mouth, but they learned real quick not to do that. I'll take a punch in the face. You're not putting anything in my mouth. I'm
No,
sorry.
don't be. Like I said, I
um,
just I honor your vulnerability. It was your sharing.
Thank
So
you.
yeah.
Yeah, it took a long time. I think it was a couple of years ago when I finally told that story to anyone because I kept that in. I was so afraid because I just told my mom I lost my virginity in a way that I didn't consent to, and I got beat. So I kept that to myself. They didn't know. I went home, I showered, and then I just was in and out of the streets, being beat, raped, robbed, coming home, getting beat, going out in the streets, trying to find some type of safety anywhere. Sometimes I did, most times I didn't. I would go somewhere and someone's dad or older brother or cousin wanted to try to do something. So I just let whatever was going to happen was happen. And I ended up having to join a gang because I needed to be safe. And that helped a lot. It did, but it didn't help all the way. But I'm in a gang, so I have all these reputations. I'm fighting a lot more, and then I start selling drugs because I'm like, okay, I'm hungry. I need to eat. I need to eat. I need to feed myself. So I start selling drugs just to have a place to live. I have older guys pay for my room, or older people pay for my room, and I'll get a room. And that's how I met my ex-husband. I was 16. I was living with my god sister and her family, but they were living in a hotel on what we call the stroll, which is where people go to sell drugs. There's a lot of drugs, prostitution, things that nature. And they lived right in the middle of it. And that's my ex-husband came over. He was 23 at the time. And I was like, no, by this time, I don't want anyone touching me.
Yeah.
I'm like, just leave me alone, please. Just leave me alone. But he wouldn't. My cousin, my god sister was like, just entertain him. You don't have to marry him. You don't have to date him. You don't have to sex. Just talk to him. So I started talking to him, and he, kind of tricked me into, well, let's walk to our, your friend's house. Let's go down here. We go down there. He locks me in the room. He has his friend lock me inside of the room. There was a bolt lock on the outside, and that's when he forced himself on me for hours and hours and hours, and was like, if you want to get out of here, you're gonna say that you belong to me. You belong to me. I'm 16. I was just like, whatever. I don't care. By this point, I'm done. I've been beat by my mom. I've been beat by the streets. So I was like, I don't care anymore. Whatever. So I ended up agreeing to be with him, but he still wouldn't let me out. So I had to climb out of the back window when he was asleep and, run back to my god sister's house. But I wasn't protected. I wasn't safe. So that went from my mom being abusive to me. Now I'm with my, at the time, boyfriend, who's 7, 8 years older than me. And he's trying to traffic me, locking me in the room with men, but he's not realizing because of my affiliation with the gang, which that saved me. Some of those guys who were in the room when he tried to get me gang raped, they knew me. And they were like, what are you doing here? I didn't even know what I was there for. I'm like, I just came with him, but he's gone. He's paid all these guys to run the train on you. What? I had no idea this was even happening. So they stopped me from being hurt. And because he had to give them their money back, he beat me pretty good, and that's kind of where it was at. I started to sell drugs again. And that's what I was good at. I sold drugs. I went to school when he let me go to school. And I kept us in the room. He would steal my money. He would steal food. He would steal my clothes. He would steal my shoes. He wouldn't let me go to school. If I do go to school, he'd show up at the school, and at this point, because I fought so much, I'm now going to one of those alternative schools just so that I can graduate. Now, my dreams of getting a scholarship are over because I've gotten expelled from 2 or 3 schools because I'm at school and 50 people walk on the campus to jump me because I'm in the gang. And I get jumped by I'm 15 years old, being jumped by like 50, 60 grown men and women. And yes, that's a true story. I actually I have friends who talk to me to this day who was like, I saw that and I'm sorry, I couldn't help you. They just kind of ran and and I'm not mad. I probably would have done, you're a kid, you see all these adults jumping me because I did fight and I fought well. So they had to jump me to kind of get whatever they wanted to get because if you fight me one-on-one, I'm gonna fight you back.
Yeah, where were
um
you living at this time?
California. I'm from
Ah,
California.
makes sense. Okay, that makes sense.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, I'm just sorry. I'm just wow. But keep going. I'm
Yes.
sorry. Yeah.
So by this time, I'm just trying to make it now. He gets me pregnant with my oldest son, and I'm just like, oh my God, because I know I'm stuck with this man now. I did not want to bring any children into this world. The world that I know, I don't want any kids. I'm like, no, I don't want any child to have to fight through the fights that I had to fight through. And I'm 17 years old. What am I supposed to do? He won't let me go to school. So of course I'm not going to graduate high school. Even though I'm only like a half a credit shy of graduating high school, he won't even let me get that half a credit because you're out there having sex with the boys at the school. I'm like, if I am, at least they're my age. So he locks me away in the house with his mom, who's on drugs. So now I told you I sell drugs. So she's stealing my drugs and he's stealing my money. So now I have nothing. I have to sit in this house with him and just I'm depending on him and his family. And they're every other day they're locking me outside and until they find that I'm pregnant. And once I get pregnant, that's it. My family now. Oh, you are Peach's child. You have an obligation to not have any bastard children. I'm just looking at them like, what? You're gonna preach the word of God to me. Okay, thank you. So I married him. I married him because at this point I'm programmed to obey whatever they tell me. So my mom's sitting there watching, like staring at me, like, and I'm in the courthouse with some jeans and a t-shirt, and I think my son was at 6 or 7 months old, crying because I do not want to marry him. I'm 18 years old now. He's 24 or 25. And I'm like, I don't want to do this. And you're going to do this. You're going to do this. So once we get married, it's over. Every other day I'm being beat, drugged, snatched, pushed downstairs, sodomized, raped, because he felt like we were married. He didn't think that rape was a thing. You're my wife. You belong to me. So rape is not real. Rape is real no matter what. If you're married to me, if you're my friend, my boyfriend, if I tell you no,
Yeah.
if I'm your girlfriend, if you're my girlfriend,
Yeah.
and I tell you no,
Yeah.
it's no. So he felt like I didn't have a choice. I owned you.
Hmm.
You signed that paper. I'm like, I signed that paper against my will.
Yeah.
But so I was with him for about 12 years of being beat, tortured. My daughter, my sons, all of them were produced from rape. I feel like every day that I was with him, every time he was intimate with me, it was rape because I never wanted to. I'm sleeping on the couch. I wake up to him choking me and shut up. But I also have to work. I have to cook. I have to clean because of course he doesn't work. All he does is play the video game from sun up to sundown and get drunk. And at the time, I didn't know this, but he also was on drugs. So every penny that I ever made, he stole my money. I've lost houses. I've had utilities cut off. I've had to find ways to feed my kids because he's taking everything. And when I try to say something, nose broken, jaw broken, fingers broken, then he beats me, then he'll rape me. And he loves to sodomize. He loves to put foreign objects places that they don't need to go. He likes to just set stuff on fire and put them. So I'm 18, 19, 20 years old, and I'm just at the point I just said, okay, I'm just going to shut up. I was silenced. He silenced me. So he's also cheating on me every other day. So unfortunately, he has brought STIs home. I'm 8 months pregnant, having to take medication because he's brought me an STI home because he's raping me. Wouldn't he know he's showing symptoms and will tell me on purpose. I knew I was burning. I just wanted to make sure. So he would give me an STI so that I can get tested and he can get the prescription. Then I have to go get another prescription because he doesn't have insurance, telling them that I threw it up. So they'll give me more medicine so that we could both be healed from so it was bad. And I did that I was with him for 12 years. But after I had my daughter, when I found out I was having a girl, she's my youngest, I said, oh, no, this is not going to happen. So I did start fighting him back. I did. I started fighting him back. I was like, you're not going to be my kids. You're not going to do this to me. So I started fighting him back. But in the meantime, I'm also trying to run away from him. He finds me. My mom's telling him where I am. People who I thought were my friends are telling him where I am. And he's dragging me home every time. The only way my mom will not tell him where I am is if I give her custody of my son. And it's like, lady, are you crazy? I'm not giving you my child so you could do to him what you did to me.
Exactly.
She had all girls and she wanted boys because I didn't say this part of the story. When she was 11, she got pregnant by my father. She had the baby to term. It was a boy. They took the baby, told her the baby was dead. And she does not believe that because she heard the baby cry. Then again, at 13, she got pregnant by my dad again. Another boy, just happened to be a stillborn. Even though she hears him crying, they don't let her see the babies. She pushed the baby out and they walk out of the room. He grabs the baby, he walks out of the room. Grab the baby. So she wanted boys to replace the boys that she had. So her first grandchild, which is my child, is a boy. So I'll let you do whatever you want. Give me custody of this baby. No, ma'am. I will take care of my children. I did think about it once, giving him up for adoption to a family, a good family, because the life that he was living with me, bouncing back and forth, being drugged with, because when my ex-husband made me live with him, he's making me live with his crack addicted mom. She's a crackhead. She will smoke in front of you, the kids. She will, and then she'll eat all of your food, take all of your money, and I don't want my child to live like this. So I did consider giving him a better life, but my heart wouldn't let me give him away. That was my baby, and he saved my life. So that's when I started to say, I'm going to fight. I snuck, when my daughter was born, I finally was able to sneak out of the house long enough to take the GED test because I didn't graduate high school. So I had to sneak to take the GED test. That was my first act of defiance. I took that GED test. I sent it to one of my friend's house. I passed the GED and I got my certificate. So I'm like, okay, so he never knew that I had my GED. Then I started to run. I moved to Las Vegas. My mom told him where I was. He shows up. We're in Vegas for years. He's beating me. So I finally fight him back and he puts me in jail for domestic violence.
You've got to be kidding me.
Yes, at this point, I've had 5 restraining orders on him. I've tried to divorce him twice, but he would prevent me from going to court and make me feel like if you try to leave me, I'm going to take the kids from you. He's kidnapped my kids at this point. So I was like, okay. Like I try to get away. He's tried to poison us at this point. If you're going to take my kids from me, I caught him pouring pine salt in our food. Then when I tried to stop him from poisoning my kids, he dumped a whole pot. It was oxtail stew. I cook, you guys. I cook home Southern food. So I made an oxtail stew and he dumped it all over my head fresh off the pot because I caught him pouring pine salt in our food trying to poison us. I mean, it was bad. He even poured pee in my face, Yes, he did. He's like, you are nothing. You are worthless. And I believed him because if my mom is treating me like I'm worthless and now he's treating me like I'm worthless, guess what I feel like? I'm worthless. But something in me still says, you got to get out of here. This man is going to kill you. And these kids are going to be stuck with him raising him. And there's no telling what he's going to do to your daughter. So I continued to try to run. I always ran. Always. He always found me. I always ran. He drug me home. I leave a state. I went to Alaska with someone who I thought, he ran me over with a car. Then he got out of that car, ran me over with the other one. And then my neighbor called the police and finally he goes to jail. Finally he goes to jail. So I spent every penny I have and I take my kids, I moved to Alaska. The person who helped me move to Alaska, someone I've been knowing since I was 14, said he was a really cool guy. I didn't think that he would hurt you guys. So she told him where I was, helped him move to Alaska. So he knocks on my door. I see him there and I said, oh my goodness, at this point I'm 6 months. I'm like, oh, I'm free. I have a job. I have an apartment. I have a car, a good job. I'm doing very well for myself, considering the fact that I can now save money. I can now buy food and pay my rent and bills. And he comes back. And then we start the cycle all over again. And the friends who helped him come up there was like, oh, we didn't know he was like this. So they just abandoned me. Yes, as long as he's there with you, we can't talk to you. But you're the one that brought him up here. You're the one that did this. So I said, okay. He thought I was cheating on him, which I was not. I was faithful the entire time of our relationship, which a lot of people are like, wow, really, as much as he cheated on me. Even in our house, I've caught him in our house with women.
I mean, plus you were so tainted by what even a healthy relationship would even look like. Exactly. You would never even see, even if somebody were kind to you, you probably would be like, what's happening? Like, what's the catch?
Yes,
so it's like,
that is exactly how I was. That is exactly how it was. It's like, what do you want? I don't have anything for you. Get out of my face. So I then started to just say, okay, I don't care. I'm getting you out of my house. I moved all the way to Alaska. I'm from California. It does not snow there. I moved to the snow trying to get away from you. I'm not moving anymore. You're leaving. So he goes to jail because he tries to run me off the road because he hears me talking about Montel Williams on the phone. He kicks in and like, who is? I knew you was messing with somebody. Who's the Montel? And I'm like, the Montel Williams show. I was just like, oh my God, you just really want to beat on me, don't you? He throws all my stuff out of the house. So I go get my kids from school because the next thing I know, that's what he does. He'll kidnap my kids. So I'm like, throw all the stuff out. I don't care. Alaska has a very good domestic violence support system. So I'm on the phone with domestic violence shelter. They're like, bring your kids, come now. He's chasing me in the car because I had to buy him a car so that he would leave me alone. I bought all the cars, all the clothes, everything he owned, I bought. So I had to buy. So he's driving down the street trying to run me off the road on the snow in his Volvo, and I have this big 1986 Blazer, and I'm like, I should just run him off the road right now. But I'm driving past the police station trying to get pulled over so that I could tell them that me and my children are in danger. But my son called the police, and they were like, we already got him. Go home. So I go home. Come to find out he has a warrant in California because he was on parole for running me over. And he didn't tell anybody. So they put him in jail, but the warrant was expired, so they had to release him 3 months later. So I call his parole officer. Well, his parole officer calls me. He's like, look, I need help. And I said, I need help. Just tell me what to do. So he asked me everything. And at this point, he was working like a little part-time job at a thrift store. I gave him his work hours. I gave him the days that he was off, the days my children were at school, the days where I was at work. Just tell me what we need to do. We just need to get access to the building because in Alaska, they have those buildings where you have to go into a door to get inside the building because of the snow. So they said, just leave that bottom door unlocked. We'll do the rest. So I left for work that morning. I left that bottom door unlocked and I set him up to go to jail.
Awesome.
And 2 days later, they said, we got him back here in California and I became free of domestic violence. Finally. But I wasn't free from trauma because I still had this circle of people who have been known to betray me. But because I was so down on myself, I didn't understand I should just leave these people alone. So now I'm here by myself. Now they want to be my friend again because I got rid of this guy that they brought up here that they didn't help me get rid of. And they were like, let's go get drunk to celebrate your freedom. Let's go do this. And I'm thinking, okay, well, you've never had a childhood because, like I said, this girl's known me since I was 14. And she knew my mom was beating me. She knew my life. She knew about the rapes. She knew about it all. And then she sent him to come up there. She knew him. She knew him before. And she, because she moved to Alaska, that's how I made my way up there. And it's like, let's celebrate. Celebrating turned into 6 years of me living recklessly because I did not know what it was like to heal from trauma. I thought healing from trauma was doing what I wanted to do. Not putting my kids in therapy because they've seen me go through this abuse. What made me finally say, okay, I'm setting this man up is my son, when he was in jail the first time, he was like, while you were at work, he's beating on me now. Oh, is that the case? Oh, we're really good. That's what made me set him up with this parole officer because you're not going to beat on my son. You beat on me, but you're not beating on my kids. So I set him up and, I started doing my thing. I never let anything affect my children. Everything I did was outside of the home. I worked 2-3 jobs sometimes. I made sure my kids were super duper spoiled. We went hiking, camping, fishing. But that night I'm at the club. I'm up at 6 a.m. every day, 5 a.m, cooking breakfast, getting my kids ready to work, for school, getting ready to work. And that night I'm at the club. I make sure my kids go see me drunk. I make sure there's no alcohol in the house. I don't do any drugs. So to my children, I'm a saint. Oh, mom does. She said, no, I'm not. I'm having reckless sex with whoever, because whoever tells me I'm pretty at this point, because I feel so ugly and I feel so down. So I was like, you think I'm pretty? Oh, okay, I'll have sex with you. It didn't matter if you were a man or a woman. I did not care. I did not discriminate. You're attracted to me and you're telling me the right things, then I'm having sex with you. And sometimes it was even if I felt sorry for you. Oh, I lost my job. Okay, well, let's go have sex. If that's going to make you feel better, because I did not value my body at all.
Well, how could you? I mean, God, that's...
Exactly. And it was bad. So 6 years go past and I meet my current husband. I finally get my divorce. I had to sneak behind his back to get a divorce. I'm not going to say I'm proud of how I did it, but I did it.
I don't care.
He was in jail.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Good for you.
He was in jail and I filed for divorce and they were like, where was he? I said, I don't know. I don't, because I did it. I didn't know which jail he was in. I didn't know it, so I didn't lie. Technically, I just knew he was in jail. And I filed my divorce finally, and I was free of the actual marriage because he fought me in court. Restraining order, child custody. He tried to take my children. Like anything he could do to keep me and keep that control over me, he tried. And I got to a point where I'm like, no, I started working. When I got a job as a paralegal, he messed up because now I'm learning the law. Oh, baby, I'm learning the law now. Oh, okay. And he was a family law lawyer. No, sir. You're never getting my kids. He helped me out a lot, and that helped me with my confidence, knowing I don't need to be in this relationship. He can't take my kids. I knew my rights. Everybody, learn your rights. I don't care if you are into law or not. Learn your rights, because that is a lot of the ways that I was trapped. I didn't know that I didn't have to. I could have kept my kids away from him for their safety.
Yeah.
You can keep your kids away from them for your safety, for their safety. So I did what I did. I partied, I had fun, and these people just kind of pulled me down, pulled me down. I didn't do anything wrong. I never got on drugs. I never did anything wrong, but I still continuously out here just having really unsafe, not unprotected, but unsafe. Like I'm waking up in the house with other people. I'm putting myself in positions to get raped. I'm having people stalking me now. People are pulling guns on me because I'm being really unsafe with what I'm doing with my life. So when I met my current husband, I liked him. That's it. I don't know why. I just liked him. And I said, I'm going to stop messing with all these people. I'm going to just see where it goes with this guy. And we had ups and downs. Don't get me wrong, but because he's heard things about me and I've heard things about him, because we kind of had similar lifestyles. We were rolling stones, but we finally decided we were going to sit down with each other and see where it went. And that's when I went to St. Louis, Missouri to visit with him, to visit his family and to enroll my younger son into Job Corps. And in January of 2017, when I was in St. Louis, my oldest son was killed. Him and his friends were all out hanging out because we decided to stay in Missouri because my current husband has a child in Missouri. So for all of us to be together, we were going to stay in Missouri. My children will follow me anywhere. They moved to Costa Rica here with me. All of my children are grown. And they followed me here to Costa Rica. Like wherever I go, they're like, we're going where you go. So my son was like, if you're going to stay in Missouri, then I'll be there tomorrow. So he was going to get on the flight the next day to come to St. Louis with us. He went and hung out with his friends, got into a fight defending one of his friends, and the guy shot him and his friend. The son was shot in the head and in the hand, and the other guy was shot in the lungs, but he survived, fortunately. But my son, unfortunately, did not make it because my son did beat the guy up. But I mean, my son was a licensed boxer. He had won Thursday night fights, the nationals for the state of Alaska. So everyone knew that he was a boxer because Anchorage is like this big. So everyone knows everyone. So if you're fighting my son, he's a boxer. So you knew that there was a chance you may not have won. So
and the idiot brought a gun.
God, no, he actually left. He was around the corner from his house. He left, got the gun. My son and his friends were getting in the car. And as they were trying to get away in the car, he stuck his gun in the window and shot in the car. And you could see my son, his hand was up. You could tell that because he had a gunshot and he died. Well, he didn't die immediately. He was in the hospital. And even that night, I woke up, just something just told me to wake up, but I got a phone call at 1 o'clock St. Louis time, which was probably 11 p.m. Alaska time, with his girlfriend's mom telling me that he had been shot. It was really, really hard because I'm telling my mom, my son been shot. You killed my son. You killed my son. He's my son. He's not your son. He's my son. You killed him. You left him in Alaska. He's 19 years old. He didn't want to come. I couldn't force him. He had his own place, his own job, his own life. I couldn't force him. I did offer for him to come with us, him and his girlfriend. He said no until he realized we weren't coming back. Then he wanted to come. His biological donor, I called him. He said the same thing. You left my son. You killed my son. And I'm just like, I didn't do anything, While I'm dealing with this, I'm getting calls from the hospital or I'm getting pictures in my phone of people going in his room because he was really popular. People loved him, taking pictures of his body, sending them to my phone. And you can see the bullet hole, his shirt is off. And this is like, I had to call, he's my brother, but I've been knowing him since I lived in Anchorage. But you have the family that you were raised with and the family that you gained.
Yeah.
And he was a brother that I gained. And I had to call him in the middle of the night and was like, I'm sorry, please. And he didn't take it well. But I had to get him up there because they were like they were losing. The hospital was calling me more about trying to calm the crowd that's in the waiting room and people sneaking up in his room. And I'm just like, I'm just trying to process what happened. Please just give me a minute. So I had to call my brother and other people that I have in Alaska, family that went up there, sat with them, cleared off the lobby, stopped people from going in his room. Because like people were they stole his phone, texted my daughter and said, I'm okay, sis. Like,
what
and so my daughter, yes, my daughter's like,
Oh.
you're lying. My brother's not dead. And I'm just like, what? So it was that I wasn't even able to mourn my son because I'm hearing all these people telling me this is my fault, people calling me crying, you're lying, mad at me because I am going to pull the plug on my son. We've all had conversations. I never thought that I would ever have to do this. But my son was like, if I have something ever happens to me, all of my kids, we pull the plug. And I'm like, well, do the same for me. We all have had these conversations for years. So I knew he didn't want to live like that. And I respected his wishes. So now I'm getting cussed out. You killed him. You killed him. I did not kill him. The doctors told me that even if I did it, he wasn't going to live longer than 3 days, even on the respirator. His heart was going to give out regardless. He was completely brain dead. And I was not going to do that to my son. So I felt like I was honoring his wishes by allowing him to go with my permission, with my love and my support. And I told him I couldn't kiss him and hold him before he left. I was on the way in St. Louis. I couldn't get to him. So my brother called and put me on speaker and I told him, baby, go home. Go home. It's okay. Go be with your family that's already passed. Because we've had people that passed that he knew. Go be with your family. It's okay. It's okay. Go be with my dad because again, he kept me safe. So that to me is a protector. If he's even in heaven, I don't know where he is, but at the time I was like, go be with your family. It's okay. I love you. And I told him he can go home. And they took him off of life support. He tried to fight for about an hour. And about an hour and a half after they took him off life support, his heart stopped. And I let him go because to me, that was the best decision as a mother that I can make because that's what he wanted. And honestly, I wouldn't want my son to die. But his quality of life, I can have him there with me.
Exactly.
That's selfish. Why would I want him just sitting there looking at me? He can't talk to me. He can't do it just to say he's alive. That's not living.
Oh yeah, when he was a boxer, I mean, like he had, this purpose, and if once that's taken away, you're right. It's not what you did was honorable. Honestly, I know that's got to be one of the. I couldn't imagine how tough of a situation and a decision that was.
It took hours.
Of course, I'm sure.
Yeah, I didn't just say, okay, pull the plug. I was like, you're gonna have to let me. You have to call me back.
Oh yeah.
So it took a couple hours. I talked to my kids, the ones because he's the oldest. So I talked to their younger siblings who also look at them as a father. Because again, 6 years, I'm single. Who do you think was helping me with these kids? So we all agreed he doesn't want this. So all three of us said it's okay. And they said goodbye to him as well. They told him it's okay. We love you. And so now I'm getting calls instead of people trying to see how I am, attacking me. So my current husband was like, I'm turning your phone off. So he takes my phone and turn it off and tried to give me some time of peace, but it wasn't because I also had to deal with his family, my current husband. They don't like me. They never knew me. They never met me, but the friend that I thought was my friend, she introduced me to my current husband because she's with his brother. They moved to St. Louis before we got there, and they're just making up all these lies. I'm a prostitute. I'm a gold digger, even though it's like, I have 3 jobs. I have 3 jobs, literally. Yes. So it's like, I'm trying to be nice. So his family hates me now. So a couple of days after my son died, I'm on social media. I'm being called a man. They're trying to convince him to leave me. You have a wife because he was legally married. I did not know he was legally married when I started dating him. But I mean, we were living together for 2 years in Anchorage, and she lives in St. Louis. Like, come on, you have to understand that I didn't realize that there was going to be an issue there because my mom was married to my adopted dad for 10 years before they got divorced, and they were separated after 2 years. So, it's just normal for people to just stay married. He wasn't intimate with her. He's seen his daughter. He went on about his business. And I didn't think of it that it was a big deal that he was still legally married. They didn't agree with that. At least that's what they said their disagreement was about. I really don't know what their true reason was.
Yeah,
Um,
with everything that was being told to them, I can imagine.
yes, yes.
Oh,
They didn't realize that I had been supporting my husband since I knew him. Not like if he needed something, I'm right there. If he needed me to help him with anything, he had a special needs brother who they just dropped someone on him. And I'm in that field. I deal with mental health, so I help him with his brother. I do everything I can to be supportive of, and we moving together, and we're just doing this together. And they knew this, but the family that he had in Alaska knew this, but they're going back telling his family all bad stuff about me. And it's just like, well, she's clingy and she's needy. And I'm like, how do you know that? You don't even know my name. Like, they did not even know my name. It's
wow.
like, we hate this bitch. You hate this bitch? Well, then what is my name? Tell me my name.
It's
That's
so
not
easy for
it.
people to judge things by what they're told without actually taking the time to get to know somebody.
Yes.
And it's like, I mean, this is what I've always been so like, go out there and allow yourselves to get to know somebody yourself
Exactly.
before you
Please
make
do.
that. Even with food, like
Please do.
even my husband will always tell us, like, don't just judge it by the way it looks or whatever. Like,
Yes.
give it a chance first
Just
and
to get the
then make your
taste.
decision. Yeah, exactly.
Yes. And
Oh,
that's basically what happened. They made the first year that I lost my son was horrible. I
God.
call it my year of transformation because I had nobody. I
Yeah.
was homeless because, oh, the girl that I was out there with, my friend, she kicked me and my kids out a week after my son died.
Oh.
My son didn't have a funeral because my ex-husband stole the funeral money. He stole the money that we needed to bury him, so we had to have him cremated and shipped to me. I was staying in a hotel, working 15 hours a day to support my children. My current husband's family was really, really digging into me. And they were digging into him too to leave me. And it worked because we argued so much. We separated for a month. And in that month, I felt I was alone. Like my first Mother's Day was alone with just me and my daughter because my son was in Job Corps and I didn't have my son. And then a couple of weeks after my Mother's Day, my nephew dies, the same way my son dies.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
And I'm alone.
Yeah.
So I decided I'm not doing this anymore. My son's death certificate came. I said, I'm not doing this. I'm either going to break or I'm going to grow. And I chose to grow. So the first thing I did was cut off everybody that was not beneficial to my life. That one friend that I brought up a couple of times, cut off. My mom, love you, cut off. Everybody who had a part in anything negative in my life, cut off. My husband and I reconciled. We had our bump because his family is really a lot. They're a
Yeah.
lot. So we dealt with that, but we moved to Texas because I'm like, I can't live here. I cannot, because at this point, again, I told you I'm a fighter. I
Mhm.
fought physically. So it's getting to the point where my son is gone. I don't have any rationale right now. I will go to jail if I'll fight
Yeah.
your mama. I'll fight your auntie. They better leave me alone. So we had to leave. Because everybody, even in my face, like, why are
Mhm.
you with her? You're supposed to be with this person. You shouldn't be. They're saying this. They're doing these things in my face,
Oh
you
man.
know.
Yeah.
And so I was like, just because I want to keep my sanity, I had to leave. I started going to therapy. I was in college at that time. I dropped out when my son died. I went back to college. I got my degrees. I went to therapy. I got my bachelor's, then my master's. Within a year of my bachelor's, I had my master's. I moved back to Missouri because his mom was dying, and I was like, let's just go take care of your mom. Yes, I'm still a nice person, even though she was not nice to me.
Oh.
So unfortunately, she did end up passing away. But we were in Missouri, and I was just depressed still, even though I in working state jobs, doing everything on paper. I'm looking good house, nice cars, kids are fine, grandchild here now, love the grandbaby, trying to heal, but I tried to kill myself again. I was going to shoot myself. And my current husband convinced me to go see a therapist again. But this time she was more of a therapist that did practices in life coaching,
Mhm.
grounding techniques, meditation, affirmations. And you
Yes,
know,
it's amazing, isn't it?
mindset. Yes.
Yep.
And this, as much as I love therapy,
Yeah.
this form of therapy saved my life. She convinced me to write a book, which I did and was published last July. I moved to Costa Rica in April after I quit my job. I said, I can't anymore. It's too much. I reframed my life and I started these platforms. I started with the YouTube channel, then the podcast that Miss Mary knows so much about.
Yes.
And then that's when I got the summits, the life coaching. I'm going to be now hosting a master skills class with one of my speakers from my summit. So I'm just I don't ever want anyone to feel what I felt. I felt so alone that I felt like my life wasn't worth living. I hated myself.
I
I
know.
don't anymore.
Oh,
I
good.
love myself now. I
Mhm.
mean, I'm setting boundaries for myself. I mean, you saw one of the posts when someone
If
went back
yeah.
and told my mom on me about this platform, and she tried to call me and silence me. And
Oh.
I said, okay, I love you, mom. Don't you're not gonna attack me. And she's
Mm-hmm.
drunk, of course, because she still
Yeah.
drinks. That's
Oh
why I
goodness.
can't. So
Better.
and every year she talks to me drunk. You killed my son.
Ugh,
So I don't talk to her.
don't
But
yeah.
my sister's like, call mom. So I call her just what she wants to know what I'm doing. So I let whoever's on my page, anyone who's listening to anything that knows me, you can tell my mom, I love you.
Yeah,
Tell
you
her.
know, I honestly though, seriously, your story, if this is not extreme evidence of the power of like getting that support and even through life coaching, how it can
Please.
truly transform your
Yes.
life. And I'm so
Yes.
proud of you for making that
Thank
decision and doing this
you.
work. PJ, you are obviously here for a huge reason. You are meant to impact lives. You are meant to support other people. Your story is I mean, I don't even have words really because it's like
Thank
it's
you.
you someone like you easily would have killed themselves, got stayed in
Yes.
that world. I mean, there's so many people
Yes.
who are completely trapped and it just
Yes.
goes to show that you can get out of it. You can
Yes.
turn your life around. It doesn't matter how
Yes, you
ugly it's
can.
been, you
Yes, you
sure
can.
can. And that is such an inspirational share for anyone listening. Like just hearing you makes me think like, gosh, I mean, I know I have my things that I've been through, but even
Mhm.
so, like to not even to that extent. So it's like, who are we to not believe that we are capable and allowed to have more and allowed to
Yes.
turn things around and change
Yes.
our outcome and change our beliefs because your beliefs
Yes.
is what allowed you to keep having that reality for so long. But I mean, at the time, you didn't know any better. You only know
At
what you
all.
know, right? So I
Exactly.
commend you for going out there and finding the answers and getting the help you need. And
Thank you
now
so much.
oh my God, thank you. You're making such a difference. I'm so excited because you are just getting started. I know that from now on, like the blessings, the abundance, the everything is on its way to you. It is already
Yes.
done.
It's
And what you're,
done.
yeah,
Yes.
it is done. And you're just now getting to walk and enjoy it and embrace it. And I love
Yes.
that for you so much,
Thank
PJ.
you so
Oh,
much, Miss
thank you
Mary.
so much for being here and for sharing this. This is like, I mean, it's so much. It was so hard not to cry so many times of just
I know
hearing
I'm
that.
trying not to
I
cry
know
too.
it's like but at the same time, all I keep thinking is the PJ that I know now, and like you said to me in when we were interviewing, you're like, I don't really know if I believe that you've been through this, right? It's nice to see this beautiful side of you of like, no, I'm not going to let this defeat me. I'm not going to let this define
No,
me. I'm going to
no.
rise and shine and I'm going to help other
Yes.
people see that it is
Yes.
possible to get out of that kind of life. It is possible to
Yes.
get through the trauma and to really reframe my now and my future. So
Exactly.
I love the journey you on. And for anyone listening, if they want to come and learn more about you, where's the best place that they can find you?
It's my link tree, but okay, well, you can reach me on my Facebook, PJ Jones, and my link tree is in the Bible bio. And I mean, I can send you my link tree as
Of
well.
course.
That's the best way that you can reach me on any platform, on my YouTube, on my Facebook, on my Instagram, which is PJ underscore at underscore soulful resilience. My TikTok is PJ at soulful resilience. My LinkedIn is just PJ Jones. And like you can just, and then of course, my YouTube is Empowered Voices, Finding Strength in Survivors. That's my YouTube network where you can see my Instagram, my podcast live every Friday. This week it'll be tonight, but generally it'll be every Friday.
Nice.
But yeah, there's so much more to come. There's so much stuff
Yeah.
I'm working on. Just keep stay. If you the only get on that link tree
Yeah.
and you'll see it all because you can. I
Awesome.
have articles, everything. So you
Uh,
got it.
yes, I'll make sure to put that in the show notes. You guys go in there, follow her, support her in any way. Get out there if you're someone who has a relatable story. She does the insights of her survivors. So get with her to be on a guest on her show or to be part of her world. Also, I always open the floor. Is there any final piece of advice that you'd like to share with the listeners today?
Don't give up on yourself. Do not. It's hard. My journey, have you heard? It wasn't easy. I kept getting pulled back. But once you give up on yourself, that's the only time you'll fail. No matter how many times you get pulled back, you're not a failure. No matter how many times you go back, you're not a failure. You're a failure only when you give up on yourself. So just please have faith and believe in you because the only person that's going to do it is you.
Oh my
in
God.
the beginning.
Yes, exactly. And also don't be afraid to go out there and find those people who will believe in you for you, because
Exactly.
there are good people like that out there. It
Yes.
takes cutting out the wrong people and giving space for the
Yes.
right people to show up and love on you and cheer for you until you can believe that for yourself. Because that's what I needed
Exactly.
too. I hated myself. I had low
Yes.
self-esteem. I didn't believe I was allowed to even want more, or even to think that I'm allowed to want more because I'm a mom and I should be doing this and that for everybody else.
Yes.
So I'm very passionate about this journey. And again, PJ, thank you so much for sharing this. And I definitely want to bring you back on.
Oh,
And yeah,
anytime.
later, I want to hear more about what you've accomplished, what you're doing, because I know that there is so much more to come when it comes to you. And I can't wait for like the listeners to just kind of get caught up and hear what
Thank
else PJ
you.
Jones has got going on. So
Yay.
yeah.
Oh, all the time. Well, we talk off of the
Yes.
record. You can contact me anytime.
Anytime.
And I mean, I'll even send you my phone number,
Oh,
text me
yes.
anytime. And whenever you want to, because I would love to have you back on my show because yours was audio only. I would love everybody to see that beautiful smile.
Oh, you're so sweet. Oh my God. Yes, I love it. I would love and be honored for that. Again, I am just so honored to be in your presence. I love you, girl. And I just thank you so much for
Same.
being a
Love you
part of the show.
too. Thank you.
Take care. I can't express enough how grateful I am to meet someone like PJ and see how she did not just survive, but is thriving in life as she so deserves after all she has endured. Here are the key takeaways from today's episode. You are never too far gone to heal. No matter how dark your past, you can begin again. You have the right to ask for help, and healing is more powerful when you're surrounded by support. You can use therapy, coaching, grounding tools, and affirmations to rebuild your confidence and inner peace. You are allowed to set boundaries and let go of toxic people who no longer serve your safety or growth. You deserve to know and stand firm in your legal rights to protect yourself and your children. You are stronger than you think, and your story, no matter how painful, can become a source of light for others. You get to choose a new narrative, one rooted in self-worth, courage, and a vision for your future. You're not broken. You're becoming. Every step forward is proof of your resilience. You have the power to create impact, not just in your own life, but in the lives of others who need your voice. To follow PJ and learn more about her, be sure to visit her at soulfulresiliencejourney.rf.gd today. Her links are in the show notes for you. And truly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Whether you've been here since episode 1 or just tuned in for the first time, I'm so grateful. Your support, your shares, your messages, they mean everything. You're the reason this podcast continues to grow and impact more moms each and every week. Let's rise and thrive together, mamas. Be sure to share this episode with a fellow mom who needs to hear this message. Now, if you're a mom building a business, don't forget to join us for the next Mama Means Business networking event. It's happening on Tuesday, August 26th at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's always filled with connection, collaboration, and incredible energy. Go click the link in the show notes and RSVP today. And for the moms who really feel that pulling for something more, the ones who are ready to stop playing small and finally create the life and business they know they were made for, I've got just a few one-on-one coaching spots open, so if you're really serious about change and ready to rise, visit marydibblecoaching.com to claim your free Radiant Mom Breakthrough Call. Let's uncover what's next for you and make it happen. Thanks again for tuning in. Until next time, keep rising, keep shining, and keep believing in all you desire. Much love.